is the moment, tonight is the night.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's Crypto Meow Analysis coming at you with an update video on Bitcoin. And, welcome to another breakdown of the Bitcoin daily chart. Today, we're going to be looking at something extremely important. Bitcoin has officially broken down through some major support levels on both EMA ribbon and the Gaussian channel on the daily and on the weekly. And based off what I'm seeing on the charts, we may be entering one of the most critical zones we've had in months. Okay, so let's dig right into the technicals and let's get into the EMAs and some other indicators that we've been looking at for a couple of weeks now. So first, let's look at the EMA ribbon. What stands out immediately is that the daily EMAs have fully flipped bearish. Okay, now you did come back up and get rejected at the 20-day moving average, but basically the price has not only slipped below all four, which is again bearish on the daily, but it's been rejected from the underside band at around 92,680. Now this coincides perfectly with our level of resistance that we've been talking about, which is 91,388. So in the last video, even before we had this move up, if you look at the last video, the Bitcoin video, we said, hey, look, it could come back up to this level, and this is the previous area of support that's flipped resistance, which coincides with the 20-day EMA. If it doesn't get through this, then we are going to chop around or come back down and retest this low. Okay, so just keep in mind that's exactly what it looks like is happening. But I'm not saying that to be super bearish, because the next candle could just be green and we could just break out of this area of resistance. So there's always two sides, but if you're analyzing it, or if you're trying to dollar cost average down or take profits, theoretically this is the first area to take profits if you did buy the dip. And then if you're holding it, then it doesn't really matter, because you're just trying to get it as low as possible, so it doesn't really matter. But so we can see clearly that the 20, 50, 100, and 200 EMAs have spread apart, forming a widening bearish fan. That divergence shows momentum to the downside. Typically when it's like compressed, or when it does get very, very, very close, then price does and will typically have an explosive move, whether it's to the upside or downside. We have to kind of analyze that, case by case basis. But you could say that it's fanned, so it is basically dragging all of the moving averages down. So the key areas from the chart that we need to focus on right now is the 90,000 range, the immediate resistance that we've been talking about, that we've been getting stuck at, which is 91,300. This is the underside of the purple resistance block right here, which is why we have it blocked out. And then the next major demand zone, which is the lower band of the box, the 83,616, which we've already came down and we never closed under, but we use this as support. Major macro support is 70,300, shown by the lower bluer horizontal line. So if we come back down here, and if we don't hold 83,000, 70,000 is next, and that's where I'm going to be buying another $200 worth of Bitcoin in my Robinhood. So actually, maybe I should bring this up, because obviously you guys already know. Obviously you guys already know my goal is to accumulate 1 Bitcoin during this bear market, and I'm at 0.002. So personally, when I see Bitcoin at like around 70,000, which will reset the RSI again, and the stock RSI, and then on the daily and weekly, it'll be like oversold in my opinion on the daily. That's the next time where I'm going to double down and say, okay, well, I'm going to buy another 0.002, because I have like 2 right now, so I'm going to double down on it. And I'm doing it very responsibly this time. I'm not like throwing $10,000 in at once, because I want to do that at where I think the bottom is. So just full disclosure. So the 83,600 we've been saying is very critically important. It is incredibly important. In the recent drop, the price wicked directly into that zone and bounced, but we didn't get a strong follow through. So if Bitcoin loses that area with a confirmed daily close, the chart suggests that we may see a deeper correction into the 70,000. Okay, so we need to get over this. If we don't, we're coming down. There's really no sugarcoating it. I'm sorry to say that. I know you guys are all bullish, but again, I don't care about views. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm trying to get to 1 Bitcoin. So I have limited capital. I'm not rich. Obviously, I'm going to be buying on the way down. And my next area is 70,000. And I know that if we don't break this area of resistance, that's the next target. But if we do break it, then that's when, you know, we're looking at the next targets on the upside, which would be 95, 106. And then once 106 breaks, then our 139 to 148 does become basically that's the next target on the upside. It is confirmed. So looking at the RSI at the bottom, we're getting a reading below 30s, around 31 to 40, depending on your candle momentum. This is near local oversold conditions, but not extremely oversold yet. Okay, extremely oversold will be if the yellow band is under 30. Okay, but it looks like we got a bounce from 30. It looks like we hit oversold and we're getting a bounce. So the RSI is telling us that yes, we're stretched to the downside, but there is room for one more leg down if support breaks. When the last time we did hit extremely oversold on the RSI was here, and the price dropped, and you can see because we were oversold, and then we never got that bounce, right? So we were oversold, and then the price went down another 13%. I'm not saying it's going to happen the same way, but that's just the last time we were, which was 2023. So what does this all mean for Bitcoin in the coming days? Scenario A, I'll give you two scenarios. Scenario A, bullish reclaim. If Bitcoin can reclaim 91,300 and close above the daily, we could see a resumption towards the higher blue resistance zone at around 106, 95, 106, and then all-time highs 139 to 148, which would be absolutely insane. Which is still the macro target range on my chart. But it's going to take strength, volume, and a push through all the EMAs flipping bearish, right? So you have a lot of resistance right now. You have a lot of resistance on the fibs. You have a lot of selling pressure, and then you have to get through the moving averages to even get to that point. I'm not saying it can't happen because it's happened before, but you see even here, we got a cluster, we got compression, and then we broke out. So maybe we consolidate sideways, get a cluster, compression, and then a breakout. That would be scenario A. Scenario B is bearish continuations, because if we fall below 83,600, the Gaussian channel, EMAs, and RSI all at this point towards the next liquidity zone at 70,300. That would actually be a healthy correction inside of a macro bull market, but it would feel aggressive in the short term. So it's all, we know that Bitcoin's going to go up. We know that, eventually it will get back up to all-time highs and even higher. But, Bitcoin is, nothing can go up forever, right? There is going to be corrections. Now, whether it comes all the way back down to the low, well, Bitcoin's not a crap coin. It's not a shit coin, right? It's a real coin. It's the number one coin. You're not going to see this all the way come back down to like 15,000 like most coins do. Most coins that I held this bull market came all the way back down to the lows and broke lower lows. So you're not going to see Bitcoin doing that. So based on the daily Gaussian channel, it has flipped red. And I wanted to show you on the weekly because this is very important. Right now we are also we are closing over the average. Sorry, we are closing under the average. And you can see that this channel does coincide perfectly with 83,600. So again, I do think that if we, given the next weekly candlestick, if this thing ends up just being red and closing below this level, it does signify that we are in a bear market. So, but so far there's still a chance, but there's a lot of areas that we need to reclaim. The top of this does coincide with the 618 at 106,000. So again, we could even come back up to 106, get stuck, and get rejected and basically fall off the cliff. So there's a lot of resistance, like I stated earlier, that we need to break out. So with that being said, basically, Bitcoin is at a make it or break it momentum. The EMAs have all flipped bearish. The Gaussian channel is curling down. The RSI is weak, and the price is hovering right above one of the major support zones. So let me know what you think. Do you think that we can reclaim 91,300, or do you think that we are on the way to a steep to 83,000 and then 70,000? So let me know in the comments what you think. If you found this analysis helpful, please make sure you hit the subscribe, drop a comment, hit the like button, share the video, do whatever you can to help me get to 1 Bitcoin. Just remember, none of this is financial advice. It is all just my opinion. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next update video. Have a great weekend, and thank you.